Welcome right back here to Vidane TV. A little bit of doubleheader action here tonight. We just got wrapped up with the Tim's Corner Motorsports Oxford Weekly Racing Series Championship night. 200 laps in Oxford Plains, and we just got done with the final warm-up for the Showtime Cup Series here at Martinsville. Qualified up, just caught the start of the race at the grid, and we're going to focus in on the leaders here. Up towards the front, Kyle Young is up in the booth, as well as Nick Potier coming back with us for race number 2 in his sim racing career. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. pushing all the buttons and making the magic happen in front of your face here. But Kyle, we got some Cup action here at Martinsville.
Paul, that indeed we do. Showtime Cup Series here at the Martinsville Speedway. We're going to go for 150 laps around the track that they call the Paperclip. It's a half-mile flat short track, 2 drag strips connected by hairpin corners. Always provides excitement in real life, and it's going to provide some excitement for us here on iRacing. Timing was perfect. We're getting ready to go green here. Side by side, Pete Polini and Preston Poirier on your front row. They will lead the field down to the green flag. It is in the air, and we are underway. First of 150 laps here tonight for the Showtime Cup Series at Martinsville Speedway. A monstrous start for Pete Polini. He'll jump out to the early race lead. We are side by side for second on back. Preston Poirier with the advantage on the outside. Tim Wortman Jr. trying to make the bottom work. Bounces off the inside curb, pushes way up the racetrack, and it's a beautifully open door for Jonathan Coombs. He'll go all the way from position number 5 to second on the opening lap. So an eventful lap number 1, caution flag going to come out here on lap number 2. I believe we have a little bit of trouble in the mid portion of the field right now. So caution flag will fly for the first time. And checking things over here for myself, looks like it was a rare self-spin by the number 96 machine of Joshua Noland, and then he got collected up by a few other cars as he sat in the middle of turns number 1 and 2. I see the 17 machine got involved. That is Tim Ingram. Colin Zeimer also got a piece of that number 96 car. And there may have been a little bit of contact between the 4 of Pete Woodrum and the 41 of John Tuddy as well. But I believe after that, everybody was able to sneak on by and avoided major catastrophe. And that is the case. So a quick little caution here to settle things after a pretty eventful opening lap here for this event. So the field working their way around, making their pace laps kind of to get the field all lined up and get ready to go back to green flag racing here momentarily. Taking a look at last week's results at the Chicagoland Speedway. It was Tommy Kelly who went to victory lane at that mile-and-a-half racetrack, and that was Tommy's 3rd win of the season. Doing a good job closing in on the points lead, currently sitting just 16 points out of the lead in the championship standings, and that is he's following the 00 machine of Tim Wortman Jr. Wortman, your points leader. Pretty tight battle within the top 4 in points. You got Tommy Kelly, as mentioned, 16 points back in position number 2. Preston Poirier, who got the win a few weeks ago back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, he is just 24 points out of the lead. And then Caleb Levener, who is the pilot of the number 12 machine here in this series, he is just 35 points out of the championship lead. We are looking at the schedule here. This is race number 8 of 30, so a very long season left to go here in this league. Never too early to start talking about the championship and the points outlook moving forward. Closing in on a third of the way through this series, so now is when you really start to kind of break away from the early points battles. Things usually stay tight in the beginning of the season. Once you start to get a number of races in, then things kind of start to spread and space out, and you really start to figure out who are going to be your contenders or not. And who will be the true leaders of the series. So it looks like we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Field is doubled up. It is going to be Pete Polini and Jonathan Coombs on the front row for this restart, or is it going to be a single file restart? I see the lights off on the pace car. Looks like we're going to go single file for this restart, so that's what we'll do. Pace car ducks down to pit road. Pete Polini will lead the field around and take the green flag, dips down to the bottom of the track, and we go back to racing. Polini with a nice start. Jonathan Coombs, big gap back on the Preston Purrier there in position number 3. Everybody snaking their way around turns 1 and 2 for the first time on this green flag run. We're back up and running once again here in Martinsville.
Eight laps on the board, 150 laps to the distance here at Martinsville Speedway. There you can see Pete Polini out front in the number 77 machine, or the 31, depending on how you look at it. I guess it's the way the camera kind of catches the dangle there, but got a great lead, just about a half a second over Jonathan Coombs there in the 77 ride, and the birthday boy, Preston Purrier, in the number 13, he is running in the 3rd position. Happy birthday to him. I'd sing to you, but I'm actually awful at it. Pretty good racing so far here. Tonight's doubleheader here on Verdane TV just got wrapped up with the Tim's Corner Motorsports Weekly Racing Series Championship, brought to you by Highway 311 Market, and great racing throughout the evening here tonight, and a great showdown here. Showtime Cup Series bringing us some racing from Martinsville. Kyle Young in the booth, Nick Pottier in the booth, Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. bouncing back and forth between the booth and the production trailer. We've got Mike on the rocks in the hizzy up in this house. He came in and introduced himself to the Showtime Cup Series tonight. We got the smoke break out of the way there, Mikey.
Well, they forgot my bags at the airport out of Oxford, so I'm a little bit late here, but great to be here for Showtime Cup Series and to be with my good friends Kyle and Nick Pottier. But looks like right here, 12 laps completed. Pete Polini in control here. With the 77 of Jonathan Coombs trying to reel that in. But look at the lap traffic there, Kyle. This is going to get tangly.
Yeah, it did not take long for the leaders to get caught up into the lap traffic, and ever since they have done so, the gaps between your top drivers have started to close up just a little bit. We now have just a second and a half separating your top 4 cars at the front of the field. And as you can see there, you're looking at Jonathan Coombs back in position number 2 in the Advent Health Chevrolet Camaro out there in 2nd place. He's trying to work his way. And look at Pete Polini around the outside of the 14 machine there. That is Derek Cook making a lap move. So interesting strategy there to go to the top, but Derek surrenders. He doesn't fight the leaders too hard. And the number 34 machine is also going to do the same. Ducks down out of the way and lets the leaders clear on by. So lap traffic early on, but they seem to be playing nice thus far.
Yeah, tight quarters here on the hairpin here in Martinsville. Haven't announced one with Nick Pottier. Nick, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of exhausted after that Oxford race, but not gonna lie, I am pretty excited to be back in the booth here with you guys. But yeah, I'm happy that we were able to that I was able to get rid of the Oxford series, because I felt like Oxford was a prison to me. I had some ups and downs in the Oxford series, but overall I had fun with everybody, and it was good to get the series ended the way that I wanted to. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to be here, and I'm happy that I was able to finish the Oxford series the way that I wanted to.
You had a good run, but we're under caution here on lap 17. That's going to bring in our good friend Paul Strickland Jr. to give us a recap of what happened here as they reel it back in time and giving you play-by-play.
Take a look at the Rays Energy Drink instant replay here, looking like the 41 car pointed in the wrong direction. John D. Tuddy is the name on the top of the driver door window there, and it looks like he may have had a little bit of help. But check out repsports.com. Use that promo code VidaneTV. Get yourself 15% off at checkout, and check out all the cool stuff that they've got. But we're going to focus in the number 41 machine here. John D. Tuddy gets a little bit of a touch there from his teammate round of the number 4 car. That's Pete Woodrum. Just kind of sends him on around. Didn't hit the outside wall too bad. Doesn't look like the damage is all that bad as well. Just kind of caught up. Oh, there's some damage from the 96 car. Didn't get the brakes just like you wanted to, so that's going to cause a little bit of damage to the 41, but really just having to hold the brakes there. Did a great job not dropping down into the racing groove in front of any of these drivers before the caution come out.
Yeah, that's going to make things a little interesting moving forward through the rest of this race, getting spun out by your teammate. Mike, I know that you're new. Nick, I know that you are also new here to the Showtime Cup Series, so a pretty cool theme with this series is that they base it off of the real-world NASCAR Cup Series. So the majority of these drivers running real-world NASCAR schemes, they consider themselves under the real team's banners, and your teammates with the same drivers that you would be in real life. So Pete Woodrum there and the 14 machine, or the 41 machine, I'm sorry, of John Tuddy, those two Stewart-Haas racing machines getting tangled up here for caution flag number 2. Didn't really think that contact by the 96 machine of Joshua Nolan was too bad for the 41 of Tuddy, but we'll have to see how that plays out for the remainder of his race. Tuddy did lose a lap on that exchange. Joshua Nolan is 4 laps down. Of course, he was involved in the first yellow, so rough start for that 96 of Nolan.
Yeah, 100%, and front end damage, and it might end the night for Joshua Nolan in the 96. But I did get the sneak peek in Chicago there last week. Got to watch Tommy Kelly in the 3 take it home in the Chicago. But great run from all these drivers here, and pretty excited to see a smaller track here in Martinsville. This is one of my favorites in the whole Cup Series. You know, the hairpin, the classic, very similar to where I'm from, the Eastbound International Speedway. But we are going back green. Pace cars off. It's going to be the 31 of Pete Polini to get things going here. He'll have the hammer with Jonathan Coombs to the outside as he snails it around for the restart.
Great restart by Polini. He'll clear to the race late at the drop of the green flag. The 77 of Jonathan Coombs goes to second. Your top 5 are going to single file out very quickly, and we're side by side for position number 6. Tim Wortman Jr. underneath the 3 of last week's winner, Tommy Kelly, and I can hear some contact, beating and banging going on in turn number 1. We do not have a caution flag, and now we do. Caution flag has flown. We got some trouble over in turn number 2. I can see the 20 machine is stopped over there. That is Charles Stevens. The number 9 car of Matt Mackin is facing the wrong way at pit exit. I don't necessarily know if that incident started with those drivers or not. I heard a lot of contact going on in turn number 1, and then the caution flag came out later afterwards. Taking a quick look here to see where all exactly it started for Paul in our Raise Energy Drink replay. And well, you can take a look at the 20 of Charles Stevens there, Paul. It happened a couple cars in front of him, but he got the worst end of that deal for sure.
Well, if it looks like a wreck and it quacks like a wreck, then it may very well be a wreck. We're going to focus in here on the number 20 car on the green flag. You can see he's down on the bottom side of the racetrack. The 66 checks up. 74 had nowhere to go, right into the back of the 20 rather. And you can see he actually gets stuck on pit wall here. Backs it up into the 9 car, sends him on around the Napa Chevrolet, the Hendrick Motorsports stable. Sends him on around. So that's a tough break. But man, oh man, it's going to be tough to make his way up to the front here from the 24th position here. Charles Stevens stays on a lead lap, but unfortunately, big time front end damage there. You see it looking almost like a modified, like we'd race at my home track, Stafford Motor Speedway.
You do realize Mad Max was set in 2021, right? Yeah, he's going to Mad Max it here. A lot of panels missing on that car. I'm sure Nick Pache could attest to some of that over the years of doing his iRacing over his time. Hey, Nick? Looks like Nick's having some issues with his
way to
microphone.
go, Mike. You hurt his feelings.
Hey, man. I was just saying experience.
So a bit of a slower start here to kick things off, just past the 25 lap mark. It has been completely led thus far by the 31 machine of Pete Polini. Jonathan Coombs currently running in position number 2. Preston Purrier, who apparently is celebrating a birthday tonight. So on behalf of all of us here at Vidane TV, happy birthday to Preston Purrier, doing a great job of celebrating that birthday with a strong run thus far. He is 3rd. Trevor Absher is 4th. And last week's winner and 3-time winner this season so far. Tommy Kelly is in position number 5. Completing your top 10 at the moment, Wayne Bowen is in 6th. Tim Wortman Jr. in position number 7. He is your points leader for this series. Chris Spear is in 8th. Wade Palmer, the 5th, is 9th. And 10th place runner at the moment in car number 66 is Kenny Kapala.
Gotta really apply the pressure here, Kyle. We just taking a look at some of the Facebook chat messages. Becky Purier from the Facebook chat. Happy birthday, Preston. Mom and the Golden Girls are watching. I hope for a birthday win. You don't win this race, you don't get no cake. She didn't say that last part, but...
You're making stuff as you go along. Well, I promise I won't butcher his name this time. I kind of did pretty bad there on his last week in Chicago. But we're back on the green, Kyle. Pete Polini still in control of this with a big gap now from the rest of the field as he builds up about a half a second right now on Jonathan Coombs.
Yeah, Polini has been absolutely monstrous on these restarts thus far. Has done a great job of leading the field in his wake and continues to do so here on the opening lap of this next little run here. They went back to single file restarts for that previous restart, so it allows these guys to get strung out a little bit easier and create some space, as you can see, in amongst the top 5. But right away here, Mike, Tommy Kelly is starting to put some pressure on Trevor Absher for position number 4.
Well, right before that caution, Tommy Kelly almost found himself in a situation with the 19. But now back in motion now as he finds himself in the top 5. Tommy Kelly, your winner last week, one of the top runners here in this Showtime Cup Series. But we are under caution once again on lap 30. That's going to bring in our good friend Paul Showtime Strickland and Ray's Energy Drink to bring us back in time to have a peek at what transpired.
From what I can tell here, Mike, it was a very lazy slide by the 14 machine of Derek Cook out of turn number 4 that caused that one. It's one of the things that these drivers have to be careful with. A lot of horsepower underneath of these machines, and with these very slow, very flat corners, it's very easy to step on the gas too hard, light those rear tires up, and lose the traction out from underneath you. I think Paul has been able to find it now.
Yeah, taking a look at the Ray's Energy Drink instant replay, and there you can see it's a little bit of a lazy spin, like you said, Kyle, the number 14 of Derek Crook. Just got on the gas a little bit too hard coming out of 4 and sent her on down to the inside. He did gather it back up and point it in the right direction pretty quick, but still going to call a quick caution and make sure that everybody is safe. So that's definitely a good move at the short track racing. You know, a lot of times the alternative would be to wait until the very last second to throw the caution, and that's when drivers start to get hurt, so you don't want to really enforce that. But tough break for 14. He's currently scored a lap down in the 28th position, but we'll see what that Stewart Haas machine can do coming up towards the end of the race here.
Well, no big damage there, Kyle, and I got to say, these drivers really know how to put on a show, and it can become difficult sometimes. Like you said, a little bit too antsy on the fuel there. Managed to squeeze around, but you'll see the 20 car coming around there now. He'll get the lucky dog here as he passes the pace car here. But I finally got into the iRacing simulator. My racing career goes way back 20 years ago, 4 years racing out of Detroit. But I can tell you, it's no easy task. My first time in the simulator there about a month ago, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
No, you're absolutely right on that one, Mike. 31 cars took the green flag for this event tonight, and you throw 31 cars out on a half-mile short track, and it's going to be tough. The guys, they make it look so easy because they're professionals. They're the best of the best. Well, we've got some great sim racing talent here, but by no means are they professionals just like the guys in real life are. So it takes a little bit of time for these drivers to get used to racing around each other on this short track. It's much different than practice. Under practice circumstances, if you make a mistake, you take a guy out, no big deal. You just go back to the pits and start back over. You don't have that luxury during the race. The caution will come out. You'll knock off some caution laps, and you have damage to work with throughout the rest of the race. So bit of some early woes here just to get these guys worked in, but you are right. We've seen some fantastic races from these guys in the Showtime Cup Series ever since we first started covering them this season here on Verdane TV. And Martinsville is just always action-packed. You know this is going to get good.
Well, that's why you know, this is one of my favorites. It's the hairpin. So here we go again. It's going to be green for the 31 machine of Pete Pellini as he gets it going here. The 77 of Jonathan Coombs to the outside as they snail it around here, and he going to fire a little bit clean there and jumps to the high side right away.
Nearly 3 wide for position number 3. Going into turn number 1, Trevor Absher shoots way up the racetrack. He's going to give up position number 4 to Tommy Kelly. Meanwhile, Preston Purrier looking low on Jonathan Coombs. Coombs blocked that advance in turn number 3, and will keep those cars in line the way they sit. Battle for 6th place going on with the 11 of Wayne Bowen and the 7 of Chris Spear. Spear on the outside of Bowen's number 11 FedEx Toyota. Big push by the 7, and he'll sacrifice that one to the 11.
And we're having a peek at the Geico 13, Preston Purrier coming up on the 77, and a lot of room here so far for the leaders. Not a lot of pressure, and haven't seen quite a lot of drivers testing the outside, but we're under caution once again. Cautions breed cautions.
Looking at it myself here, Paul, looks like a very similar incident to what we just saw with Derek Cook for the 17 of Tim Ingram. Same location on the racetrack, except this time he got it a little bit worse. Just got a little too antsy on that loud pedal, spun that number 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang around, and made some contact with that inside wall.
For the replay, I can't even see.
Joshua Nolan in car number 96 appears to be the recipient of the free pass under this caution, so he'll work his way around the field and get one of his laps back. Currently shown 7 laps down, so he'll go to 6 laps down after he makes his way around the pace car. And at the moment here, gentlemen, it looks like we've only lost 2 cars thus far, or actually maybe only 1. Marshall Layton is on the racetrack in car number 33, but it does not appear that the 21 of Sean Stamper is out there. So we still have 30 of the 31 cars on the racetrack and 25 of them on the lead lap.
Yeah, a couple have checked in pit road. I think the furthest up the field, the 21st, Caleb Levener, was the last to go down pit road and pick up some tires. But this is going to be a long one. Will we see green flag pit road activity like we've seen in Chicago? A long green flag stretch, but that's not the storyboard right here in Martinsville, as we've peppered quite a few cautions here in the early stages.
Worth mentioning that these drivers have 3 extra sets of tires in pit road for them to be used throughout this 150 lap race. Nick, I know that you've been paying attention to some of the stuff going down onto pit road. I don't know about you, but 3 sets of tires extra in the pits for a 150 lapper sounds like a plenty good amount to me.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like you're right. 3 is a little bit too much. Maybe 2 would have been good enough, but I don't know. I feel like if these guys would have been handling the tires even more better, maybe they wouldn't have to be pitting as much. But honestly, I feel like let's see where this will lead out for the rest of the race.
Well, pace car has exited. It's going to be up to the 31 machine of Pete Pellini to get things going, and he fires a little bit earlier this time and sneaks it by as he gets a huge jump right now on the 77 of Jonathan Coombs and picks up quite a bit of time. And a lot of two wide racing at the mid-pack point here, Kyle.
Absolutely so. Your first 6 cars are going to go single file, and we are side by side. Looks like from position number 6, and now that battle is going to end as the 66 machine of Kenny Kapala makes his way around Wade Palmer the 5th for position number 7. Side by side, just outside of the top 10, Tim Wortman Jr. will work his way into position number 10, getting around the 74 car of Jason Renaud, and now right in front of them, the 7 machine of Chris Spear trying to get up around Wade Palmer the 5th, but Palmer is able to defend that position and hangs on, coming off of 4.
Yeah, 24 of Palmer. Oh, we got activity with the 11. Wade Bowen almost took into the inside wall, but managed to squeeze by and keep a green flag here on lap number 46. Little wobbly pop coming down to that corner.
Great recovery. He's able to hang on, opens up the gap up ahead of him to position number 5, and he still has a very hungry Kenny Kapala right behind him trying to take over that position, but he's done a good job opening up a couple of car lengths on him, starting to increase the gap. And looking at some of those battles that were going on behind him, it seems that everybody is playing nice for the moment. You take a look back up towards the front of the field though here, Mike. The 3 machine of Tommy Kelly working his way through the field. He's up to 3rd and starting to pressure Jonathan Coombs for 2nd, but the pressure will subside as we have caution on the racetrack. In the center of turns 3 and 4, we have Colin Zeimer in the Roush Fenway Racing Progressive number 6 Ford Mustang in trouble over there. Looks like he is all by himself from what I can tell. Oh, but he had some help, Paul.
Oh, but just kidding. He did have some help. Taking a look at the Rays Energy Drink Instant Replay. We're backing her up just a little bit, and we're going to give you the live TV camera footage that the fans call for. There you can see the 6 car heading down low, and the 10 car on the outside. A little bit of front end damage on that Smithfield number 10 machine, looking like a modified up front, but you can see he gets right up in the back bumper of the 6. Gives him a little bit of a boot ski and shoots him on a round, but the 6 car of Colin Zimmer does a great job keeping that thing pointed in the right direction. Then he just gets a shot from the 38 car. 38 car spins him on a round, so that's kind of a tough break. 6 car did a great job of avoiding a wreck, and then just got almost seemingly dumped there by the 38. So tough break there. Luckily, it wasn't a big hit. Didn't hit the wall or anything like that. So the 6 car, Colin Ziem, 1 lap down, still going to be able to continue on here throughout the evening.
Over 1/3 of the way, Ed Boyles Jr. decides to head down pit road, maybe getting some attention on pit road. But we are going to go back green here at the 1/3 way, and it's going to be the 31. But keep an eye on Tommy Kelly in the 3rd. I'm not sure where the standings lie, but Tommy Kelly's got to be up to the top of the board somewhere.
Yeah, we mentioned that towards the top of the broadcast, Mike. He's sitting position number 2 right now, just 16 markers behind points leader Tim Wortman Jr. He currently leads the league with wins. He has 3 wins to his credit. 4 different drivers have graced victory lane so far in the 7 races this season. Tommy Kelly, as mentioned, leads it with 3 victories. Points leader Tim Wortman Jr. has 2. And then Preston Purrier, who is 3rd in the points, he was the winner back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway a few weeks ago. And Ed Boyles Jr. holds on to the 7th victory amongst this series. So we've seen a wide range of success in some of the leagues that we have covered here on Verdane TV. There was one of the Sim 500, the Classic Cup Series they did about a month or so ago. They went a long stretch with a variety of winners. Not really so much the case here in this Showtime Cup Series, just 7 races in, and we have 4 different winners, and 2 of them have added on some wins throughout this young season thus far.
Well, the storyboard has changed drastically from Chicago last week. Huge green flag run throughout that whole race, and most of the all the pit stops were under green flag, and so we're seeing a little bit of caution pit stops. So strategy, I'm sure, is going to start coming into effect once we get close to the 100 lap mark. But like you said, 3 sets of tires, maybe an overkill, but could be a strategy for some of these teams and grabbing some tires in the early parts.
So the field will double up. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here at the completion of lap number 53. And I want all of you to watch Pay attention to Pete Polini here on this restart. He has been so good on these restarts, mastering them, getting the jump, and escaping the grasp of the 77 of Jonathan Coombs. Maybe we're outing him here, but take a look here. The 31 machine, he's got the control car. He waits, creeps, changing it up a little bit, waiting for a later start. He didn't go early that time, mixing it up a little bit, but he still schools Jonathan Coombs. And look at Tommy Kelly. He follows right suit, side by side for position number 2. And look at that, he'll clear coming off of turn 2, move Tommy Kelly to second.
Well, Kelly took a full advantage of that, and like you said, the timing was a little bit off compared to the other restarts for the 31, but Tommy Kelly took full advantage being on the inside. 77 had a hard time judging what was going to happen there, but as they came to the commitment line, he did fire, but we are under caution once again. This Martinsville has been a little bit hairy for some of these drivers.
Couple cars making contact towards the back of the field, and the driver that got the worst end of that was the number 9 machine of Matt Mackin. The difficult night for Joshua Nolan continues in that number 96 Peacock TV Toyota Camry. He was the one that sent the 9 car spinning there going into turn number 1, and now that Paul has gotten it pulled up on our Raise Energy Drink instant replay, you'll have an opportunity to check it out here for yourself. Right off of the restart here, the cars coming through turns number 3 and 4. Looks like there was a lot of patience going on in the back portion of the field here. Some of the guys just trying to make sure they snake their way through turn 1 nice and smoothly, and Joshua Nolan may not have gotten that message from Matt Mackin. Here they come, coming across the stripe. You can see Nolan looking to the inside. He's got some space. Mackin closes the door, but the 96 is there, and Mackin goes for a slide. Never completely spun that car around, but got the car sideways enough for race control to throw the caution flag. They do so, and we will line them back up once again for another crack at it. Rough night for Matt Mackin. That is the second incident he's been involved with tonight, and it is currently being shown 4 laps down in position number 28.
A lot of fighting for property here, as this has been a wild yellow flag run here for this Martinsville here tonight. But Nick, what are you thinking so far? Do you get any favorites?
I mean, as far as I can tell, there's been a lot of cautions, but I'm thinking who can win this race is really the 31 to Pete Polini. I mean, he's got probably the best chance out of everybody. I mean, he's been up front all race, and hopefully he can stay up front for the rest of the race.
Well, Kyle, I'm going to go with Tommy Kelly in the 3 as, man, was he ever smooth last week, and he's looking pretty stout here early. He's going to start on the outside of row number 1, but I also like that teammate, the 13 Preston Purier, in the 13 Geico.
Yeah, Tommy Kelly has been very strong thus far, slowly working his way through the field, and will now get to restart on the outside of his teammate Pete Polini. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do on the outside of the front row. We've seen a lot of guys struggle with that thus far here. Pete Polini has just been so good on these restarts. And now that he's got a teammate out there, I wonder if there's going to be any strategy worked in amongst those 2 drivers. And actually, if I remember correctly, I think the RCR boys are working with a few other drivers from some of the smaller teams in the real world. So you got Pete Polini and Tommy Kelly, Tim Wortman Jr., and Preston Purier all working together. So 3 of the 4 spots being taken up by teammates here.
What a dominated team Richard Childress Racing here in the Showtime Cup Series. You know, big four runners here, but we are under green as 31. Pete Polini gets things going once again. A lot of calm and collectivity between the top 5 as they have a little bit of a separation on Kenny Coppola. But 60 laps completed here as they keep it going here.
Nice clean start. Everybody makes it around, and lap number 60 will go into the books here. 90 laps left to go, closing in on the halfway mark, and closing in on the back bumper of the 11 machine is the 7 of Chris Spear. Bowen in the 11 separated himself a little bit, and now Spear is seeing some pressure from Wade Palmer, the 5th, there in the Exalta number 24 machine. So these 2 cars keeping themselves nicely packed together, and right behind Palmer you got the points leader Tim Wortman Jr. So some close contact racing here going on for positions 7 through 10. Nobody making any moves on anyone just quite yet, but they are starting to tighten that battle up just a little bit.
Yeah, and just watching the lines on the track here, it looked like Preston Purier was trying to make the looking to the outside quite a bit here throughout this, as you see him go all the way to the wall a little bit earlier than Trevor Absher, but opening the door but closes it up again as he takes a little chunk out of the infield here, a little wobble here, but manages to compose himself as he tries to close that bridge between the 77 of Jonathan Coombs and try to get up there with his teammate Tommy Kelly and Pete Bellini.
Yeah, this group of cars also staying quietly packed together here. These are positions 3 through 6. You've got Jonathan Coombs in 3rd, Preston Purier 4th, Trevor Absher in 5th, and then Kenny Capola right there, and the number 66 machine all over the back bumper there of the 19 machine of Absher. Absher, much better job exiting turn number 2 than what Capola did. Capola may have actually made contact with the outside safer barrier there, but look at going into turn number 3 there. Capola seems to have those. Oh, he gets sideways and Absher gets into the wall, so a couple mistakes by both drivers there. Track really starting to challenge these drivers in some different ways here, Mike.
Well, we're going to see the track change just a little bit as the grip gets a little bit heavier here as we get through that close to the halfway point here. 9 laps to go to the cross flags as Pete Bellini keeps it going strong here in front, builds a gap about a half a second on Tommy Kelly as we take a peek at our leaders as they come around. But this is seen a lot of the drivers running the pretty much similar lines, like I said. But a couple of them are now trying to test the mid and high line here. But it's wild to watch turn 1 as we get a pile of smoke. And there's cars coming around. That's going to bring out the caution here on lap number 68.
I love how that happened as soon as you said wild to see what happens here in turn number 1, and chaos breaks out right in front of our
I love
leader.
turn 1.
A couple cars getting together in turn number 1. Looks like the 22 of Dean Prince and the 41 of John Tuddy get together, and I think Prince might have gotten the worst end of that one. Lots of damage to the Shell Pennzoil number 22 on that race car, Paul.
Yeah, we're actually going to kick the Raise Energy Drink instant replay over to Nick Pachi here. Going to take a look at the 41 car, John Tuddy, getting a little bit of a tangly situation here. What do you got, Nick?
Well, from what I can see, it's just John Tuddy. Obviously, he just, as we can see here, just randomly just slows down, and then Dean Prince just turns him, and then the 6 just comes up and 100 miles an hour, no brakes, just rams him into the other 2 hard. So, I mean, there's a brake pedal for a reason, but anyways, after what I just seen, the 6 gave him a lot of damage after not using his brake pedal, and see what happens to all these guys at the end of the race, see how they make out.
Yeah, going to be tough. Some damage on those cars back towards the end of the pack, but still Pete Bellini up front in that 31 machine, really putting on a clinic. Tom Kelly in the 3 car, Jonathan Coombs, Preston Purier, and Trevor Absher, top 5. Kyle, this has been a pretty good race so far, just about approaching the halfway mark.
Yeah, just a few laps shy of halfway, and as mentioned, Pete Bellini has been the dominating car thus far, qualified that Phantom number 31 machine on the pole. He's led every single lap thus far. His teammate Tommy Kelly right behind him in 2nd place, and he also has another teammate in position number 4 in the 13 of Preston Purier. And going through some of the statistics and some of the things that we've seen in this series thus far here, Mike, 7 races in. This is race number 8 out of 30, but it's becoming very clear to me that these Richard Childress Racing guys are going to be the ones to really reckon with the championship in the long term for this series.
100%. And, you know, on this restart, it's a little bit of a change up here. Preston Purier will be on the outside of row number 2. Could give the 3 a little bit of a push. So it'll be interesting to see what Bellini does on heat delay. Or will he fire right away? Will he switch it up here on this restart as we get close to getting things going? Like you said, we're getting close to the cross flags. Lap 75 coming down the pipe. A couple of people on pit road. Dean Prince checking in. John Tuddy as well now picking up. They're down a couple of laps here, but not a good night for those 2 drivers.
Yeah, lots of damage repair going down on pit road. I can see the 22 machine down there, as you mentioned, the 96 and the 9 as well. Nick, it's been a fairly easy night on pit road. Not really a lot of tire strategy, just a lot of damage repair up to this point.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't been seeing a lot of tire changes lately. I've just seen people fixing up their cars. So, yeah, which is pretty much a good thing. I don't think you'll need to change your tires till near the end of the race. Which Pete Polini, like I said, he's been managing them really well, and I think the other guys in the top 3 have been managing them really well. So, I got to give the top 3 a credit for doing a good job on managing them tires.
Well, we were back green, and Tommy Kelly does get a little bit of a push and slides into that position number 2. You got to give it up for Jonathan Coombs. He's kind of like the bologna in the sandwich between this Richard Childress team. He's got 3 sharks hanging around him all night, but we've got another caution, boys. This one's a wild night here at the hairpin.
Man, the iRacing official's pretty itchy on that trigger finger there to throw the caution flag for the number 11 of Wayne Bowen. He got himself a shock going into turn number 3 by the 66 of Kenny Coppola. Slid that number 11 machine through turns 3 and 4. Never spun it out. He gathered it back up, but the caution flag came out anyway. Now we'll get an opportunity to check it out here on the Rays Energy Drink instant replay going into turn 3. Watch that 66. Boom! Big shot to the back bumper. Slides that FedEx office number 11. Gathers it back up. Very slow pace, but never spun that car around. Caution flag does come out, and you can see there's a pretty significant shot to that back bumper. Lots of damage in the center of the rear bumper for the 11 of Wayne Bowen. Now, at a racetrack like this, not really going to make too much of a difference. Not a very aerodynamic sensitive racetrack, so shouldn't really worry too much about it, but I guess we'll have to watch that one. This is a short track here, boys. Maybe Coppola's got something coming to him here coming up in the future.
Well, that 66 machine was coming in hot, and he sent it like the old Skidoo bids. But that was a bit of a nasty rear end, but I would say Coppola took the brunt of that one.
Car number 6 there, Colin Zeimer. He is going to be the recipient of the free pass. Put that number 6 car back on the lead lap, and will return Zeimer to the lead lap, putting 25 cars on the lead lap. And while we have an opportunity here under caution, we're going to tune into the radio dial here and see if we can get a quick word with the number 77 of Jonathan Coombs. Jonathan, you got a copy with us?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
We're doing great, Jonathan, and so are you, running in position number 3, but right now you're in a bit of a Richard Childress Racing sandwich. How has the race been for you thus far, and what do you think you got to do to get around these RCR guys and have something to say for yourself?
I don't know. So far, it's been a lot of eye pacing today, which has not been the funnest, but I think I've got a lot better long run car than these guys. A few good runs we've had, I've been able to stay with the 3 and 31. They take off really, really well. They got really good short run cars. But yeah, we'll see how this plays off. Hopefully enough cars get damaged here where we can get some good racing in. But we'll see. I'm not even sure if we've even got a pit. If it keeps going like this, we might all just stay out here for track position and just finish her the way she is. I'll take a top 3 out of this.
What's it feeling like with the track conditions here tonight? We've seen a couple guys make some mistakes coming off at turn number 4 all by themselves. Doesn't really seem like the track is very wide at the moment, but it does seem like it's presenting some challenges to you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely loose coming off of 2 and 4. You got to really be soft on that right foot, and yeah, take her nice and smooth. And the guys that can do it are the guys that are staying up front, I feel like, and the guys that aren't, the guys that are wrecking.
Well, Jonathan, we see we're about to ready to go back to green flag, so we thank you for the time. Wish you the best, and continue to put on a good show for us, my friend. Go get him.
Copy that, man. Thank you so much.
There was Jonathan Coombs, driver of the Advent House number 77 Chevrolet Camaro, currently running in position at number 3. He's hoping for a long run here. Let's see if we get it on this one. Green flag will come back out. Another nice smooth restart for Pete Polini in the number 31 machine. And look at all the space amongst the top 4. Separates the field very nicely. And they'll work down through 1 and 2 once again. Off at turn number 2, Tommy Kelly closed that gap just a little bit on Polini as they try to run away from Jonathan Coombs in third.
Well, with the amount of yellow flags, the officials had opted for the single file, but that's going to stretch them all the way out almost through 3/4 of this track, but Polini is got a challenger. His teammate, the 3 of Tommy Kelly, part of the Richard Childress team, coming on strong and trying to close the bridge here as he throws it into the corner here. And this is going to be, like you said, it could be a caution riddled. And will these guys go to distance? The question is, will the fuel window get you to 150?
That'll definitely have to be something to focus on here in the second half of this race. Jonathan Coombs just made mention of that during that caution flag interview there. Oh, we got trouble. Trevor Absher all by his lonesome out of position number 4. Spins it out. The 3rd driver we have seen do that tonight all by himself. This one coming at a terrible time for the 5-hour energy number 19 machine of Trevor Absher. He was running in position number 4, just made a slight mistake, got too happy on the loud pedal, and now he spins out and goes all the way to the back of the field. A huge misfortune for the 19 of Absher.
All by himself. 19 loses it all the way around. You can see just tries to get on the throttle too quick, and Trevor Absher spinning out from the 5th position. Going to have to restart from the 24th position. Final car on the lead lap. 25th, Kenny Capola 4 laps down. Looks like he's sitting on pit road currently working on some damage. But, man, tough break to the 19. Running up front. Has to restart in the reel.
I have to turn off my mic every time you sing because it's just that funny. I'm in the music biz. I could help you out.
Yeah, hook me up one of those Monster Jam deals that you got going on.
Oh, that's the motorsport division, but I mean, on the concert side, we should head down to Nashville, get you a recording contract, and whip out some tunes.
Telling you, multi-talented.
Just stop singing all by myself. Start singing some Boot Scoot and Boogie or something. Let's crank it up. Kyle, you got any licks?
I don't know if I want to get involved in this one here, John. So I believe if I was...
Paul should be singing Wrecking Ball.
Oh boy, bringing some Miley Cyrus into this one, huh?
Yeah, Paul.
Came in like a wrecking ball.
Perfect song for Martinsville.
Very punny, Paul. I see what you did there.
Picking them up and I'm putting them down. Lights are off. The iRacing pace car. The Mustang gonna dip down low. Who we gonna see take the lead?
A little bit of change up here as the 24 machine of Wade Palmer now moves in position number 4. Purrier has gone all the way to the back. Where's he land? He's actually... I've lost him. Oh, he's in 18th position. Wow. Headed down pit road, picked up some tires. So that's going to take him out of the top 5 and move him all the way to the back. A bit of work, but could be strategy here, Kyle, for Preston Purrier and the 13 machine. Birthday boy.
Without a doubt, we are beyond the halfway mark at this point, so fewer laps to go than have been completed. So could potentially be, as you mentioned, a strategic move to try to find a way to get around the front runners of this race. But the only thing he's got to be careful of is, as we've mentioned, we've seen a fair amount of yellows tonight. You don't want to try to make this strategy call and cost yourself an opportunity. You look around at some of the drivers around the 13, there's some battle wounds there, so he's going to be restarting right in the center of the storm here. So hopefully Purrier can find a way to get through, and that'll be a fun strategic move to watch throughout the rest of this race.
Eye of the storm. We're going back green flag. It's going to be Pete Polini to get it going. They're going to start it too wide again, but we are on board, I believe, the backside of the 31 as he gets things going. He had to check up into the back bumper, but the 77 machine of Jonathan Coombs gets back on it. He's got Tommy Kelly to the outside, and he's coming on strong. And maybe that interview might have kick-started it. He's looking for some green flag runs here to put some pressure on the 31 of Pete Polini.
Fantastic restart for Jonathan Coombs, but look at Tommy Kelly on the outside, battling back. He is just about clear of Coombs. Coombs doing all he can to stay to the inside, but the run on the top shelf going to be enough for Tommy Kelly to clear for position number 2 and keep Jonathan Coombs back there in P3. Oh, closes up on the back bumper, nearly made some contact there, but he stays calm for now, and we will go single file throughout the first 7 or 8 cars or so, side by side for position number 8. Caleb Levener and Ed Boyles Jr. The 12 and the 88 will battle side by side, and now looks like another battle going on for P5 just in front. No, Tim Workman Jr. Okay, Chris Spears locks up the front tires, pushes wide, and that will allow Tim Workman Jr. to go around for position number 5.
Lots of glowing rotors here in Martinsville, as tight like a tiger as they come into the corners. But beautiful move by Tommy Kelly, making that midline work here to get around Jonathan Coombs. But we're checking out the 0-0 machine of Tim Wortman Jr., also part of Richard Childress on the move. But that's going to be a delay here as the yellow caution comes out on lap 92.
More trouble for the number 6 machine of Colin Zeimer. He had just recovered from some of the issues he had earlier on, went back to the lead lap. And guys, we just mentioned it, Preston Purrier trying to keep himself out of trouble with a strategy move. He got a piece of that one there. Zeimer got the worst of it, but Purrier getting involved in that one as well. So caution flag. Oh, and actually there was a big stack up in turn number 3 after the fact. I can see, let's see here, Patrick McLendon in the number 2 machine is involved. The 11 machine of Wayne Bowen is in it. The 77 of Tim Ingram. Looks like the 33 of Marshall Layton also got involved. I have no idea what happened here. We'll kind of rewind and see what took place after the fact. Looks like McLendon and Wayne Bowen got together, spun those 2 cars around, then Tim Ingram got involved in it, and it virtually blocked the entire racetrack, and a lot of cars having to crawl through there. Preston Purrier made some more contact with Tim Ingram. Marshall Layton did get a little piece of Wayne Bowen, so lots of chaos going on under this yellow.
Just backing up the Raise Energy Drink instant replay currently, and see if we can back up the 11 car, see what happened there. And there you can see exactly what Kyle just mentioned. We're going to show it to you here from the blimp view from the Raise Energy Drink instant replay blimp, because we can afford that, the Raise Energy Drink sponsorship. But you can see kind of dips down low, the number 2 here, and the contact happens behind them. But a couple of different incidences there. You can see the 11 getting into the 2, getting into the 77, and a couple of drivers that avoided that wreck beforehand. And you can see the racing group blocked here. So definitely a good call on the race officials to throw that yellow caution or the yellow flag. And there you can see the strobes coming up on the pace car. So a lot of these drivers really have to hammer down and try to avoid losing a lap to that pace car and that first car coming under position.
Preston Purrier made the gamble of hitting down pit road and found himself in mid-pack, but even trying to navigate through that after that incident with the 6 car, he's got front and rear damage now at this point.
Yeah, a few more obstacles for that 13 machine to work through now. He has gained a few positions under that quick little green flag run. He is up to position number 13, but as you mentioned, you can see some crinkles there in the hood, the nose on that Chevy Camaro, not as pointed as it should be. There you have it, Preston Purrier trying to get back up to the front on this tire strategy. Minorly involved in that yellow, but for the most part, that car looks good, and he should be able to contend here. We're just about ready to go green with 53 laps to go.
Well, let's see what strategy is for the 31 of Polini as he comes around. We've seen the shotgun approach. We've seen the snail approach. We'll see what happens here on lap 97 as he gets it going here. A little bit early, but mid-time, but he'll take away here. But look at the 24. He's almost got a shot from Tim Wortman Jr. as he came in so hot, and they got it bumping and banging back there as Tim Wortman Jr. Almost got himself in a sticky situation.
They managed to work it all out. Workman goes to position number 5 for the first time tonight. Chris Spear locks up that left front tire. Once again, opens up the bottom for Ed Boyles Jr. and the number 88 machine, and we will battle for position number 6. Spear will hang on to that one. He'll come back down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Tim Workman Jr. was looking for space underneath of Wade Palmer the 5th for position number 4. Was not able to do so. And points leader will have to go and rework that one here for another few laps. Palmer's opening up that bottom. He wiggles off of turn number 2, and here comes Workman Jr. side by side for position number 4 going into turn 3.
That's going to come a challenge for the 24. He gets to the outside, but the 7 of Chris Spear does not take advantage of it as he slides behind it. But look at this, the 7 almost took a peek to the outside, but decided to drop to the bottom here. But Workman Jr. now checking out, wants to get up with his partners in crime, Tommy Kelly and Pete Bellini. The Richard Childress team, top 3 out of top 4.
And indeed he is the 00 of Workman Jr., the 4th Richard Childress racing car that we haven't mentioned too much tonight. He's been inside the top 10 the majority of this race, just hasn't quite been able to work himself into the top 5 until just now. So you once again have 3 of the top 4 RCR filled positions. Preston Purrier was up there earlier, and as we mentioned, the pit strategy he is trying to play here. And Jonathan Coombs, I feel like, Mike, he's doing a better job of keeping up with these RCR guys. He was mentioning that he prefers the longer run, but I think he's starting to figure out the shorter ones a little bit better.
Yeah, the 77 almost needs a little bit of assistance from Chris Spear, as he's, like you said, he's in the sandwich between this Richard Childress team. But what a strong contender here tonight, dominating in the top 4 throughout this whole evening. But look at the breakage coming into the corner here. The rotor's red hot as they try to get every inch of it here at Martinsville. Bellini still controlling with about a half a second gap on his partner in crime, Tommy Kelly. Jonathan Coombs now falling almost a second behind.
Leaders starting to close in on some lap traffic here. The 11 machine of Wayne Bowen, the first car that they will see. Lap number 105 goes into the books. 45 laps left remaining. If you're Tommy Kelly here, what are you thinking here? He's been in second place. He's seen Bellini dominate this entire thing thus far. We know how good that Tommy Kelly is. He already has 3 wins this season. He would love to get number 4 here tonight, but he's going to have to go through his teammate Bellini, who's just been very, very smooth all night long and seems to be doing a good job of managing the gap back to second place.
Well, another one of his teammates, Preston Purrier, is now finding himself in 10th position. He's in the top 10 and is hard charging from that pit stop earlier on, picking up 8 spots since he pitted. We're having a peek at the 13, but he's got a wall with the 74 and the 12 of that is Caleb Levner and Jason Renowden.
Good side-by-side battle going on there for position number 8. Levener going to clear Renowden. The bottom is open for Purrier. He's going to try. No, he'll stay at bay for the moment. Not going to put too much pressure on the rear end of the number 74 machine just yet. Levener trying to run away from these two and make progress on closing in on Ed Boyles Jr. for position number 7, but so far, I can hear some contact back here in turn number 1, and we've got a car around. The number 20 machine, Charles Stevens, has spun, backs that Craftsman Toyota into the outside wall, drives away from it, but the caution flag flies once again. This is not the first time that Charles Stevens has been around tonight, and it looks like he had some help from the number 23 machine of David Doothwaite, Paul.
Yeah, tough break for the number 20 Craftsman machine here. We can see a little bit of damage from an earlier on event. Before we even take a look at this replay, you see the 23, check that DoorDash machine, gets right in the back of him, gives him a quick little boot ski and shoots him up into the outside wall and completely destroys the back end of that number 23 machine. So tough break for Charles Stevens. Still in the lead lap. A lot of damage on that race car. Going to be restarting towards the back of the pack here with... well, it looks like probably going to restart with about 35, maybe 36 laps to go here, Mikey.
Man, if that 20 machine takes the win here tonight, I'll be super impressed, because if he can finish this with the 4 wheels on this machine, it'll be unbelievable. But a lot of damage on a lot of these cars. You're seeing a lot of panels missing. There's missing a pile, as well as the 20 Derek Cook as well, the 14. But a lot of people on pit road. Pelini, Tommy Kelly decide to hit down pit road. We got activity. The leaders come down. Jonathan Coombs is there. Tim Wortman Jr., Wade Palmer. Oh, my God. The whole front of the field has gone down. That puts Ed Boyles Jr. at the top of the board.
Well, this is going to change things up quite dramatically, Nick. You've got a good front row seat of all that. Were we able to see what kind of tire moves were being made on pit road?
Tires, obviously. Tires, fuel, pretty much the basic thing that you do on pit road. It was a tight race coming out of the pit road. Obviously, Pete Polini obviously almost had Tommy Kelly beat out of pit road. It was a close call, but Tommy Kelly just beat Pete Polini by a nose. So, yep, it was a tight race. But as you see, is the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. in the lead. Let's see what he has in the bag now.
Well, that strategy from Preston Purier, the birthday boy, the 13 Geico machine, part of the Richard Childress team. Strategy has paid off at this point because if he can go the distance here now, he's in a good form here.
I was just going to make mention of that, Mike. Now you got Purrier going to line up on the outside of row number 1 here for this restart. So could that earlier pit stop have been the key? All of the fast guys, some of his teammates, make their pit stop now. They only have 36 laps to get back through the field. So this is going to be an interesting finish. We saw it last night in the RBR Maritime race at Lanier National Speedway. That tire strategy towards the end of the race played a big role in determining the winner. And we're potentially seeing that happen here tonight as well at Martinsville. So this should be a fun finish. New front row, Ed Boyles Jr. and Preston Purrier in the top 2 positions. And they got Jimmy Absher in 3rd, Patrick McClendon, and Charles Stevens rounding out your top 5 slow start. Green flag is out. We're back to racing at the paperclip. Boyles Jr. with a great restart. He will clear for the lead. The 13 of Purrier goes to 2nd, side by side for 3rd. Jimmy Absher will win that battle over Patrick McClendon. McClendon falls to 4th. Top 7 cars single file going down the backstretch.
Well, a little change up here now. We got a Hendricks, a Gibbs, and a Richard Childress now in the top 3. But the 18 made a beautiful move there. But keeping an eye on our previous leaders, the 31, Pete Polini, now coming up strong, enters the top 10. He's in 9th. Tommy Kelly in 8th. They are hard charging with some fresh tires.
And Tommy Kelly is making moves on the outside of the racetrack right now. Oh, he is sideways. Big slide by Tommy Kelly. He gathers it back up. He almost threw his entire race away right there. He's able to grab it. What a save by Tommy Kelly. Oh, my goodness. Big moment for the 3 car.
And a beautiful crossover from Tommy Wortman Jr. as he picked up a couple of spots there with that slide. Everybody kind of started to check it up, thinking there was going to be a wreck. But he managed to pick up a couple there and now finds himself in 8th position. Kelly now enters the top 6. He's a hard charger. Preston Purier still has not gotten around the 88 of Boyles. Boyles now with a quarter-second lead over to 13.
You caught it there live. Charles Stevens almost getting around, and he pulled the 5th into the back of Chris Spear. We got cars beating, banging, slipping, sliding all over this half-mile racetrack.
And just see how he locked her up to save that machine. Oh, the 24. Oh, we got calamity.
Wade Palmer, the 5th, saves his slide, but Caleb Levener does not. Levener got into the back of the 24 car. Palmer was able to hang on, but Levener goes around after his contact with the 24, checked him up, and the 74 of Jason Renaudin, nowhere to go, spins that body armor Ford Mustang around, and John Tuddy in the 41 machine making some contact as well. Oh, man, Paul, we saw a lot going on there. We felt like maybe it was only a matter of time before something broke out, and sure enough, it did down there in turn 1.
Yeah, that was the wreck that just kept on wrecking. The 24 did a great job saving that car a couple of times, as did the 12, but unfortunately, there you can see the 12 gets into the back of the 24, sends him on around, down, saves it, does a great job, but unfortunately, as the 12 car checked up, the 74 got in the back of him and pointed him in the wrong direction, and just in a really tough spot there to try and get that thing turned around without cutting off the racing groove. So he's going to be restarting towards the back of the pack. Looks like he's going to be in the 18th position in that number 12 car.
Quite a few cars giving it to the back bumper here, coming in hard, not on the brakes. We talked to the 77 earlier about being patient and getting on the brakes a little bit early here, but maybe it's just a bit difficult to judge here as you're not quite sure what the car in front of you is going to do here. You think you're coming in fast, and then all of a sudden you got a car that's checking up. So that's what's interesting here at the hairpin in Martinsville. Lots of contact, real life, virtual, you name it. That's why it's one of the favorites. And it'll be exciting to see what they have for us in 2021 as we get close to the NASCAR season, kicking off in Daytona. Say it's going to be one of the biggest years of the history of NASCAR. I don't know. We'll see. Bit of dirt at Bristol, like we said, and lots of activity. Michael Jordan entered the sport, as well as Pitbull. A lot of celebrity names slinging around NASCAR these days.
It's a great time to be a NASCAR fan, and I don't know about you guys, but my itch is there. It is so real. I'm so ready to get back to racing. We're only 2.5 weeks away from the Daytona 500, and watching these Showtime Cup Series guys, seeing the real-world paint schemes, seeing NASCAR Cup cars on NASCAR racetracks, it just ramps that fire up even more. We're so close. So close. Something to look forward to. Up here in New York, our winters suck. I'm pretty sure we're all from the Northeast. I may not have much room to complain because, Mike, you and Nick are both Canadians, and you probably get it worse than I do.
Well, we just got hammered with snow, and I'm the most furthest northeast up here in the Rock, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And but we've had a bit of a wet winter. It's just got hammered with the snow, but we had grass until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we just got a few inches ourselves yesterday, and just kind of adding on to the snow. Been fairly mild in New York State thus far, but winter definitely is still around and still showing that Mother Nature can do whatever she wants, whenever she wants to. Here we go, getting ready for a restart. 26 laps to go. Ed Boyles Jr., Preston Purrier, your front row. Pete Pellini all the way up to third place already. Watch that 31 car to be making moves here quick all over the back bumper on the restart of Ed Boyles Jr. Boyles fires. Whoa, big slide out in front of the field. He gathers it up. Preston Purrier on the outside takes advantage. Can he make the pass for the lead on the top side? He pushes way wide. Boyles will clear, and no, they're going to go side by side down the back stretch into turn number 3. Oh, Boyles catches the curb. Door contact between the top two. Off of 4. Purrier slides, and he goes around. Preston Purrier spins. He gets collected, makes some contact by Pete Pellini in the left front corner. Caution flag flies. The birthday boy is in trouble with 25 laps to go.
Pointed in the wrong direction is the 13 Geico machine. The birthday boy, like you made mention, Kyle, side-by-side battle runs awry between a 13 and the 88, and we're going to give it to you live as you just saw it on your screen. And there you can see the 88 gets that apron just a little bit, shoots on up into the 13. Seems like we save it just a little bit, but coming out of turn number 4 like we've seen all night long here, Kyle, 13 just hammers down and spins around the back out of the race car, comes around on him, and just in a tough spot there, not able to jump back into the racing groove because the racing groove was full. So he's going to get that thing pointed in the right direction, probably come down pit road, maybe get a little bit of service done to that machine, but at the very least going to restart 17th. Currently 19 cars on the lead lap.
Man, that was close to taking his own teammate out, but that's going to be Pete Pellini now with some fresh tires. He's only got 16 laps on those tires. Ed Boyle's going to have some trouble to the outside here.
Drama just continues to build here at Martinsville Speedway. Oh my goodness, this is just continuing to get exciting. Now you really have to wonder, does Ed Boyles have an opportunity to hang on and win this race? I just went through and was collecting some information for myself. His first win of the season came back race number 3 at Auto Club Speedway back on December 9th, looking to go back to victory lane here tonight. You know, we talk about the tire strategy of these guys coming in and making these pit stops, but Ed Boyles Jr. is also on a tire strategy of not trying to pit here in the late going and using the track position to his advantage. I think it's going to be tough. This is where we're really going to see how good that 88 car is, because the strong competitors throughout this race are right behind him and they are on fresher rubbers. So if Ed Boyles Jr. is going to take that Nationwide Insurance number 88 machine to victory lane tonight, he's definitely going to have to earn it.
We talked about the fuel window earlier on, whether it's enough to get him there. Is he turning on and off the car during this cautions? I've seen a couple of drivers use that strategy to try to extend the fuel window. I've also seen a couple of drivers not finish the race on the final lap running out of fuel. So not pitting here tonight is the strategy for the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr., but Polini's going to be hot to the outside, and now Tommy Kelly to the inside. Kelly might give a push to Ed Boyles, or will he jump to the top and try to go with Polini?
Restarting in position number 3 gives Tommy Kelly a great opportunity to get around his teammate. And, well, actually, as I say that, it looks like this is going to be a single file restart. So lights are out on the pace car. 20 laps to go when we go green here. Ed Boyles Jr. trying to hold off the advances from the very fast and fresh rubbered up cars behind him. The RCR group looking very strong once again tonight. Can they be spoiled by the Hendrick Motorsports number 88 machine? 20 to go here at Martinsville Speedway. Green flag goes back in the air. Much better restart out of Ed Boyles Jr. that time. No tire spin. He'll lead the field down into turn 1.
Well, he picked up about a half a second on Polini, but Polini coming back hard, charging. It was a good thing they did not start too wide, as they also had Tim Wortman Jr. to the outside. Could have gave a push to Pete Polini, but here comes Pete Polini as the 88 gets bent out of shape coming around the corner. Here comes the Richard Childress car. Polini taking over the lead, and here comes Tommy Kelly as well.
Big mistake by Ed Boyles Jr. in turn number 3. Overshoots the entry, opens up the bottom, and the 2 RCR cars go on by. Pete Polini to the race lead, Tommy Kelly to position number 2, and now Boyles has his rear bumper full of the points leader of Tim Wortman Jr. in the 00. So Boyles trying to hang on now and keep that 00 machine behind him. He's opening up the bottom once again out of turn number 2. Here comes Wortman looking to the inside. He thinks better of it, falls back in line, and will wait for a better opportunity. While that happens, your top 2 slowly starting to pull away from this battle for third.
Yeah, Wortman Jr. working away on the back bumper of the 88. Gave him a little kiss and decided not to use it at that point. Still a bit of time here, and here is the opportunity as the 88 washes up the track with the old tires. Wortman Jr. comes through. 3 Richard Childress cars to the front. Polini, Kelly, and Wortman.
Tim Wortman Jr.'s got some work to do if he's going to reel in his teammates up at the front of the field. Those 2 drivers only separated by 0.3 of a second. Polini back to the dominating lead that he has had throughout the majority of this race. Tommy Kelly, while he has been there, he has not led yet. We've seen him slip up just a couple times. He needs to put the mistakes behind him and find a way to get around that 31 machine of Polini. Time is winding down. 14 laps to go here at Martinsville Speedway. They've got about a second and a half over Tim Wortman Jr. back there in position number 3. Kelly's got plenty of space out the back end. He needs to be patient here, work on that 31, and figure out what he needs to do to get this win.
Well, Polini and Kelly have checked out for their teammate Tim Wortman about a full second now as Wortman tries to battle back here in the corners. But lap traffic will come up as they come up on, I believe that is Dean Prince in the 22.
First car is going to be the 77 of Tim Ingram here for your race leaders. He is going to stay right in his line for the moment. Should make the pass here in turn number 3. He's going to go to the outside, let the leaders fall by on the inside. And over these last couple laps, Polini opening the gap on Tommy Kelly. He pushes up a little higher than what he's been running there in 3 and 4. He'll click off lap number 138. His lead, half a second over Tommy Kelly, and they are just running away from Tim Wortman Jr. They're now over 2 seconds ahead of third place.
Yeah, checking out into a different zip code as they come around, but caution will fly on lap 139. We got calamity, and looks like it happened on the front stretch with the, I believe that's the 48 of the Alley Financial ride. Michael Miller.
Yeah, he got a piece of it. Looks like it actually started, though, with the 7 machine of Chris Spear. We've seen Spear struggle at times throughout this race tonight, and finally it looks like it came to a head. Well, it looks like he may have had a little help from the 66 of Kenny Capala there, Paul.
Yeah, just pulling up the Rays Energy Drink Instant Replay up. Now there you can see the 48 getting punted around. And we're going to take a peek here at the 7 as well of the Chris Spear machine. And we'll give it to you in real time, as we always do. And you can see he shoots the 19 car up into the wall there. You see the 66 kind of gives the 7 a little bit of a boot ski. Comes up into that machine there and spins the 48 machine around. So a little bit of bumper car action here late in the going. Less than 10 laps to go here. Lap 141 in the books. No big damage or anything like that. Still 17, 18 cars on the lead lap. And it appears that we still have about 25 starters of the 32 that are still in this race. So, man, it's still anybody's race at this point.
A little bit of a shootout, Kyle. Preston Purrier is checked in on pit road as well. So he's going to re-enter here, but I believe he'll be in the 11th position. Time's running out for the 13th birthday boy.
Yeah, very tough turn of events for Preston Purrier here tonight. Was right up there with his Richard Childress Racing teammates, and although they're still running 1, 2, and 3, you know, they would have loved to have Purrier up there to try to take a top 4 sweep in this race. So what do you think here, Mike? Pete Polini's been very dominant. It looks like he's got the edge on Tommy Kelly right now. What do you think Tommy needs to do here if he's going to try to spoil the win and take it away from his teammate?
Well, we've seen Tommy testing the waters to the outside here on this restart. Both of them went down pit road at the same time. So I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a quick shootout, so there's no time to waste here. Spotters need to get on it here and make sure they're clear, because you do not want to wreck one of your teammates.
That is absolutely true, especially when it comes down to the win. You've got 3 cars in line trying to get one of them to go to victory lane here tonight. So it is going to be a very wild finish, to say the least. And how about we take a look at some of those cars just behind these top 3. Look at Pete Woodrum. He has battled all night long. That car is beat up, bent up, may end up going to the junkyard after tonight's race, but he has still found a way to put that car inside the top 5. And right behind him, his teammate James Kerr. Pretty similar look to it as well. The Stewart-Haas Racing machines, they are torn up, but they are still in it and have an opportunity to contend for a strong finish here in these final 6 laps.
Banged up, but lots of time for some shake and bake. So we'll see what they got for us. As you will see, some of these teammates starting to partner up in this shootout. We're going to get a quick 5-lap shootout. Lights are out on the official Mustang pace car for iRacing here. The 31 Polini will bring him around here as the Tommy Kelly to the outside. Keep an eye on Wortman Jr. in the 3rd position.
Another monstrous restart out of Pete Polini. He'll jump into the race lead. Tim Wortman Jr. still side by side with Ed Boyles Jr. for 3rd. Now Wortman will take it over and put the 88 at rest. The 24 machine, Wade Palmer, the 5th, got out of shape there. He gathers it back up. We stay green flag. Flagger shows him a handful. 5 laps to go.
Well, that almost got snaky there and almost brought out the caution, and we could have potentially went into overtime here. But the 24 manages to hang on as he falls back as the rest of the field come on through. Here comes the 12 side by side with the 13. Or sorry, my apologies, the 24. Trying to take a sneak peek at Purrier on the bottom.
And the caution flag comes back out. Gentlemen, we are set for overtime. I believe we have, yes we do. What a miserable night it has been for Charles Stevens. The number 20 machine is in trouble once again. I believe he did this one all on his lonesome on the back straightaway. A very, very peculiar looking wreck. But the dismal night continues for Charles Stevens, and we are going to overtime.
The number 11 car, and just kind of
he's bad.
Yeah, shot that car on the outside wall and kind of bounced it off the outside, inside, and a little bit of damage all the way around that race car. Well, a lot of damage all the way around that race car. The front nose is gone. The back nose is gone. Tough break for the 20 car. He's in for a long night of repairs on that car. He's currently the last car on the lead lap. Currently scored P17.
We had Marshall Layton in here just for a brief moment, but he's carried on. Hopefully we'll get him back later on and have a few words. But Derek Cook on pit road, a bit of activity there as he is still picking up a couple of extra fresh tires. His last one, James Kerr on pit road as well, is going to forgive that 7th position as he picks up a couple of quick Goodyears as we see the wave around here. And we're set, like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a quicker shootout here now. Green, white, checkered. Tommy Kelly still on the outside on this restart. Pete Polini to the inside. Tim Wortman Jr. to the inside of row number 2. But Ed Boyles Jr., no pit road activity as well as the tube machine of Patrick McClendon. Both cars have not pit here tonight. Fuel strategy, they have obviously worked with the ignition to save fuel and conserve it right to the very end. Hopefully they have enough to make it for 2 laps.
So as mentioned, this will be a green-white checkered finish. We will only make one attempt at it. So this is it. Final opportunity to try to get a green flag finish here at Martinsville Speedway tonight. If you're anybody behind race leader Pete Polini, this is where you need to pull something special out of your bag of tricks to try to take this victory. We know how strong these RCR cars are tonight. Ed Boyles Jr. on a bit of a tire strategy. Pete Woodrum trying to make the torn up, beaten, battered, blistered race car work, as well as his teammate James Kerr behind him. Patrick McClendon has had his fair share of issues tonight. Caleb Levener, position number 8. We just saw him recently caught up in an incident. Jason Renaudin has fought his way back from a lap down, and Preston Purrier back inside the top 10. So many different storylines here inside our top 10 drivers. They've got one last opportunity to try to finish this thing under green and take as many positions as they can.
Officials now trying to get everybody organized for this overtime green, white, checkered. Will Polini fire right away? We've seen cards throughout this evening. He's fired very slow. He snailed them around and made them wait. Will he fire right away as they line them back? 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Green, green, green's going to come out as the lights are out on the official pace car. He has exited, and it's all up to Polini now as he has the hammer as they bring around. He is going to slowly bring them in. Looks like he will fire right out of the apex.
Trouble behind car number 10. James Kerr has spun, crashed before they get to the line. The caution flag is out, and this race is over. Trouble for James Kerr. Self-spins out of position number 7, makes contact with the inside wall, and ends this race prematurely. That will give Pete Polini his first victory here in this Showtime Cup Series season. The dominating performance comes to a close with a checkered flag. Pete Polini is going to win here tonight.
There you can see right off the rip the Raise Energy Drink instant replay. Hard on the throttle, the number 10 coming out of turn number 4 for the restart. Spins it on around, tough break. Gets that thing pouring in the wrong direction, and you can see the black smoke pumping out of the back of that race car. Done for the evening, but as you said, Kyle, that's going to bring us to the end of the race. Pete Polini going to win this race here at Martinsville as they cross the stripe. There you can see the checkered flag is in the air. Taking a peek at the top 10, a great run for these drivers, and you can see everybody finishing in the top 10 finishes through it.
So Pete Polini gets the checkered flag. He leads the most laps tonight and goes to victory lane. His teammate Tommy Kelly finishes second behind him. Ed Boyles Jr. was able to steal third place away from Tim Wortman Jr. on that very brief green and white checkered restart. He will finish in third. Wortman Jr. will finish in fourth. Pete Woodrum hangs on and finishes inside the top 5. Patrick McClendon is your 6th place finisher. Caleb Levener in 7th. Jason Renaud in 8th. Preston Purrier in 9th. And Wade Palmer the 5th will complete your top 10.
Not the way they wanted to finish this one, I'm sure.
No, not at all. A bit of a lackluster finish, to say the least, but if you're the RCR guys, you got to be proud with the effort going to victory lane, taking 3 of the top 4 positions and having all 4 of your cars inside the top 10. You can see the results completing out through your top 20 finishers. Trevor Absher will finish in position number 11. Michael Miller is 12th. Charles Stevens, a very rough night for him, but he manages a 13th place finish for his efforts. Stephen Wood finishes in 14th. Michael Buckley 15th. Chris Spear in 17th. James Kerr Chris Spear 16th, James Kerr 17th, Tim Ingram in 18th, Kenny Capola in position number 19, and Wayne Bowen. He completes your top 20.
Really unfortunate for Jonathan Koobs there, 15 laps down, but he had a good run at the beginning.
And not exactly sure what happened to that 77 machine. He winds up in 24th place. Jimmy Absher gets credited with 21st. Derek Cook in 22nd. Colin Zeimer 23rd. John Tutty in 25th. Dean Prince 26th. David Doothwaite in 27th. Marshall Layton in 28th. Matt Mack in 29th. Joshua Noland in position number 30, and then completing the field tonight in 31st place. Only made a few laps tonight. That is Sean Stamper in car number 21. So there's your full field rundown of the finish. We will get things gathered up here and get ready to talk to our top three after tonight's Showtime Cup Series race here at Martinsville Speedway, dominated by the Richard Childress Racing Gang, and they go to victory lane tonight. First win on the season for Pete Polini in the car number 31.
I don't think they want to talk to us. I think they just want to burn it down.
It sure does seem like they're having fun out there, aren't they?
Oh, Tommy, just give it to them.
So waiting to catch up here with the top three drivers here at tonight's race here at Martinsville for the Showtime Cup Series. Great racing action. Couple of cautions earlier on, but ended the race under caution, but still some exciting action. Waiting to catch up with the top three here and see if we can catch up with some of these drivers to let everybody know who finished in these top three spots here, boys.
Play some Metallica.
Or some Jeopardy.
All by myself.
You got to have Boyles.
Yeah, we got Ed Boyles here, the P3 finisher here in the 88. Mike, you caught up with the third place finisher.
Hey, Ed, what's going on, bud? You got a copy?
Hey, yes, I got a copy.
Hey, brother. Taking the Hendricks 88 into a podium finish here tonight. You led for a little bit there. No pit stop here tonight. Fuel, was that an issue at the tail here?
Actually, I pitted on lap 49 and took two right side tires and topped off fuel because I just had some terrible track position and I felt like they would run long enough where I'd rotate up front, and it worked.
Well, there you go. I thought you didn't have a pit, so this timing system's going into garbage. But there you have it. But good strong run. Obviously, tires were a factor. Pete Polini and them with a little bit of extra fresh ones there. But you managed to fend off Tim Wortman Jr. to get on the podium. What was it like to have those three Richard Childress cars around you at the tail?
I knew they were going to be fast. They had the fastest cars all weekend. But running with those guys, I never have to worry about getting a run into them. I was having fun battling with Preston there. Unfortunately, he got a little loose off the one turn and lost it. But other than that, it was a good race.
Gotcha. The coming up next week, you got anything for us in the next battle?
I'm hoping so. I got one win to lean on so far this season. So, but I want to add another one at least before the chase, and this way I have a little extra padded cushion there. Hopefully want to get some of my teammates a win and get in there. Right now I'm the only non-RCR driver with a win, so it'd be nice to get some other faces up there.
100%. Where are you driving out of these days? Where are you located?
I'm located in Lake Huntington, New York, which is right on the border of Pennsylvania and New York.
Nice. Any plans for 2021 on the real race surface or simulator?
Nope, I don't do any real life racing. I used to race super sport bikes, but other than that, just got another new baby on the way, and gonna enjoy that, and that's about it for 2021.
Congratulations. Come talk to me when you have 5.
Oh, well, this will be my second, so I
There you
think 2
go.
is good.
Congratulations. Anybody you want to thank tonight for the podium finish and family, friends, sponsors?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for the broadcast. It's actually been excellent watching the broadcast. I've been sharing it. It's Vidane Motorsports, correct? If I say that properly.
Dane TV.
Vidane TV. Sorry, I apologize for saying that wrong. Thank my wife who's staring at me weirdly in the corner right now. And that's pretty much it. My teammates for practicing all week to try and get a good setup. It wasn't the best, but it got the job done for third anyway.
Well, just don't forget Valentine's Day, or the wife will throw you in the doghouse. But congrats.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say Valentine's Day we'll both spend watching the 500. We've been there 5 years, so she's a NASCAR fan too.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations from all of us from V. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Great run here tonight for a podium finish, Ed.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Talking now a little bit further up pit road, the P2 finisher, Tommy K69, Tommy Kelly, that 3-car, the RECR machine, finishing in the second position here tonight after starting 4th. Man, talk us through your race, bud.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. We always knew it was going to be action-packed, and I think it was. Just trying to keep the car clean and not worry about too much right at the beginning. Fell back a little ways, but was able to work my way back up, and me and Pete just kind of tried to run away with it there.
You guys ran up at the top 3, the top 2 positions all night long. Was there any kind of team orders, or do you guys pretty much have the same setup underneath the race car there, where you were pretty much 1 and 2 all night long?
No, we're running pretty much the same stuff, and I wasn't gonna run them hard earlier in the race, but if I could have got to them, I would have there towards the end. No real team orders here. You got to earn the wins that you get.
And that is absolutely the way we expect it here at Vidane TV. Definitely earning a podium finish here. A great, solid P2 position here tonight, and a good points run here. Tracker boats on a quarter panel of the car, Bass Pro Shop on the hood. Who else makes it happen here for the number 3 of Tommy Kelly?
I want to give a big shout out to the CGE Phantom GFX team for they picked me up as a driver and setup guy last week, and they've been a huge help this last week and figuring some stuff out, and I'm looking forward to running with them and improving my game. And also want to thank teammates Pete Pelini and Preston, Tim. They're all just awesome. We all work really well together. And obviously I want to thank the sponsors of the league, Butt Kicker, Simnut, and Budget Sim Boxes. They all make this thing happen for us.
Absolutely, and a great top 3 run here this Wednesday night. Is it Wednesday night? Yeah, it's Wednesday night. It's Showtime Cup Series night. Of course it's Wednesday night. Great run here. Finished second to your teammate, and I believe Kyle Young is caught up with your teammate, the winner, Pete Pelini, in the number 31 machine.
That I have down here in Victory Lane on the front stretch of the Martinsville Speedway with Pete Pelini, a first-time winner this season with the Showtime Cup Series. Pete, my goodness, my friend, led 134 laps tonight. You were so dominant out in front. Some tire strategy came into play throughout this race tonight, but you still got up to the victory at the end. Take us through your race, man. What was it like from inside the car?
Oh, it was a great night inside the car here tonight, the RCR boys. Tommy Kelly, Curtis Critch, the guys over at Curtis Gallant Engineering put a great setup under us tonight. Really gave us something to work with, and it showed. We were able to put it on the pole and just control the race and stay ahead of some of the drama. There was a few that were a little pucker moments at times, but overall we were just able to go out and carry on and just give her. The setup was awesome.
One of the strongest suits that I could see from up here in the booth tonight were your restarts. You were so dominant on your restarts, and you were changing things up. You didn't always go early. You didn't always go late. You tried to keep the field guessing as to what you were going to do. How important was it for you tonight to master those restarts and really keep control of the field?
Oh, it's huge. It just if you can get a good restart and get that preferred line into turn one and not have to battle, it just makes it that much easier. And it's when the car is hooking up and you can control it. You know, you don't want to ever do the same thing twice in a row. You know, but yeah, it makes it a lot easier when you're the guy in control of the restart and you can kind of decide when you want to go and how you want to dictate the start.
Take me through the decision to make the late race pit stop. Less than 40 laps to go. Lots of cautions in this race. Lots of treachery throughout the field. Were you confident that you'd be able to get through and all the way back up to the win? Or was there a little bit of nerves inside that race car knowing how scary this race has been at times?
You always take a little bit of a chance when you go back into the field, but I was really confident in the setup. I knew we were going to be maybe almost a second faster on new tires. You know, I figured with that many laps left, we should get enough to be able to work our way through, and it worked out good. Tommy and I were able to come back through the pack, and I think that one corner we passed 3 or 4 cars on the outside. I mean, it just shows you how good that the car was working tonight.
So win number 1 on this season comes here at the short track. We go to another one next week at Richmond Raceway. It's a very different style of short track, but still a short track nonetheless. Are we going to see the same result next week?
I'm hoping that we're kind of in my element now. We're at the short track. So, and I didn't have to make any green flag pit stops, so I didn't have a chance to blow it tonight. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Richmond. I do enjoy running there, and it's kind of that short track super speedway feel. You know, it's a big short track. But it's a lot of fun to run there, and I think we're going to have another good, solid setup to run with, and we're going to see the RCR boys hopefully running up front again.
You had the dominating car. You capped it off with a victory. Who would you like to thank tonight?
Definitely CGE, Curtis Gallant Engineering, for the great setup that we ran tonight, and Tommy and the teammates and the boys for putting it to working on it with us here. Also, Vidane TV for doing the broadcast. Was it Simnut, Butt Kicker, who was also one of my sponsors. And some button boxes here for the league sponsorships, and Phantom Graphics, McConey Setup Shop also came on board this season with us. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Martin Sports Apparel as well for my local sponsor there, to give a shout out to them.
So there you have it. Words from race winner tonight in the Showtime Cup Series, Pete Polini, here at Martinsville Speedway. His first win on the season. Just continuing the domination that we are seeing in this series from this Richard Childress Racing team. And there's already a lot of confidence going into next week at Richmond Raceway. Gentlemen, that just about wraps things up here from the paperclip. It was a bit of a troublesome race at times. We saw a dominating run once again from RCR. They just continue to show that they're going to be, if you're going to win the championship this year, you're going to have to take it from one of these guys.
Hey, can I get one more shout out in there? I forgot about this one, but Tommy Kelly, I want to welcome him aboard on with us over at Phantom and CG. We just took him aboard this week, so I want to welcome him to the team and give a big congratulations to him on there too. So appreciate that.
Well, Martinsville did not disappoint. The paperclip has bit several drivers here tonight.
Indeed it did. It was a very wild race, to say the least. Some tempers were flared. Some fenders were bent. Feelings hurt. All kinds of short track drama and excitement, to say the least. Nick, you had a pretty close look on it on pit road throughout most of the night. Much different show compared to what you had last night. What kind of experiences were you able to gather from this race tonight?
To be honest with you, it was a lot different than compared to Tuesday. Tuesday was more quick, a lot of short track, a lot of typical short track stuff that was going on. Same thing for here. A lot of people beating and bumping. A lot of bumpers getting torn off, and some cars look like modified cars midway through the race. But all in all, that's typical short track racing. Your car is gonna normally come out beaten up by the end of the race, but all in all, I had fun, entertained. Yeah, like always, I'd like to do this again. It's always fun hanging out with you guys, and I feel like my broadcasting progress is going to get better and better every time when we do this. But all in all, I can't thank you guys enough for letting me do this. And straight coming back from the Oxford race was kind of challenging. Obviously, it felt like hopping straight out of the car and getting back to the broadcast booth. Obviously, it was a quick flight down to Martinsville, but can't thank you guys enough, and see if I can do this next time.
It's been a busy week thus far for us, Paul. We'll get an opportunity to kind of shut things down, let it cool off for a day, recharge the batteries, and then we're going right back into action on Friday night with the NEP Super Truck Series and getting ready for an action-packed weekend here on Vidane TV.
You got that right. A very rare day off, night off here at Vidane TV here in the first half of the 2021 season, kicking off in a strong way. Pretty much all the way throughout the month of Easter, we are booked solid 4 to 5 races a week, not counting that month or that week rather of Easter. So very excited for that. Very thankful for that as well. Having all these leagues come to us and wanting to get their product put across the airwaves here at Vidane TV. But you can see tomorrow night we're taking the night off. NAP Super Trucks return Friday night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to be racing at Martinsville Speedway. Saturday night, the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series. Going to be racing to see who is going to make it into the chase. The final race before the race bracket gets kicked on. And there you can see Monday night, the Shift Marketing Design Grand National Series brought to you by the NEP Series Monday night. RBR Maritime Group coming on to you Tuesday night. No Tim's Corner next Wednesday. It's going to be just the Showtime Cup Series here at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And there you can see Thursday and Friday pretty much conquered by the NEPS group next week. So lots of action kicking off here on the Vidane TV airwaves. Be sure to visit thevidane.net/events. Get your full calendar. Let you know exactly who's racing when they're racing, where they're racing, how they're racing, and where you can catch them live right here on Vidane TV. But that's going to wrap us up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tonight's doubleheader, Tim's Corner Motorsports Oxford Weekly Racing Series Championship Series, brought to you by the good folks at the 311 Highway Speedway there, and Showtime Cup Series here at Martinsville tonight. Great race, great racing action here tonight. Going to top it all off. We're going to shoot on down to the bar. Mikey, I think we got a couple of beer tokens down there at the bar. What do you say we head down there? We'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I don't know what beer, but I'll take a whiskey.
Take a whiskey too. We'll take a couple whiskeys. How about that? Have yourselves a good night. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much for tuning in to Vidane TV.